Hello again, everyone. I find colouring really quite relaxing, and so I thought I'd just grab one of my mystery bag acquisitions from Gummiapan, and it's one of these little penguins. I've popped him onto a block with just a smidge of glue stick to hold it there. I've got the die ready to cut it. I've found a lovely sentiment to go with it. It says, happiness is a glass of wine. And I thought I would put it onto a card front. This is the middle of a frame I made to disguise the fact that I've got rather a wavy edge to a front panel of a card. So I thought I would use that as a front panel of another one. So let's just kind of get started, really. I've got a little scrap of card to do my stamping on, using Versafine Clair in Nocturne to do the stamping, and I've got some Nuvo markers out. I've got green for the bottle, I've got brownie beige for the cork, I have got this kind of colour. I thought I'd do his beak and his feet that colour. I don't know what colour penguins' feet are actually, so never mind. This one I thought I would use for his eyes, just a hint of colour in his eyes, and I've got a couple of greys to colour this part of him, and a very light grey to do some shading on his tummy. So I think I'll start there on his tum. So just a little bit of a definition of the edges, just a bit of shading. The tip of this one doesn't draw incredibly well, so I'm going to have to use the pointy bit of the chisel end. The chisel end, the colour is, you know, it comes out much more smoothly. In fact, I've used it such a lot, it's getting a little bit on the dry side. Don't know if you can get refills for these. Don't know. I think I'll just blend that in a little bit with some clear blender. Just smooth the edges out a little bit. I seem to use the chisel end of these markers more than I have with others. But my friend Deb's got a whole set of a different make that I haven't actually heard of before, and I can't remember what it's called, but she seems to have a lot of lovely colours. So whether I go down that road or not, time will tell. I'm going to use these for a bit longer first. So what should we do next? Let me do his eyes. I'm just going to put a little bit of this. Oh, don't look too jaundiced. Okay, I think that'll do for his eyes. Make them look a bit more rounded. And his nose and his feet, I thought I would do with this one. His nose, his beak, you know what I mean. Don't know if they have this colour feet, but it doesn't matter. Artistic license, I tell myself. There we go. And I think I'll probably put a little highlight with a jelly roll on his nose. All right, let's try the bottle. The bottle. So, reminded of the time we went to stay with some French friends in Caen one New Year, and a bunch of families, friends of our friends, spent the New Year together, and the dining hall was their garage. Sounds a bit grim, but to be honest, their garage had wall lights, so it was, you know, of a certain standard. And my daughter got in the way of a flying champagne cork, hit her in the face. She was not best pleased. She wasn't that old at the time. So, no, we've been friends with these people in France for about 30 years. And our sons were exchange students when they were 15, and they're now 47, I think it is, something like that. But we've been friends with the family ever since. And it's just like a home from home. They're wonderful, wonderful people. So now we get on to the black part of him. And I've got black smoke here. Let's put a little bit round the edge. Shading. Under there, get a bit of shading. Don't like to have the edge lines too straight of where the two colours of shading meet, because a straight line is more difficult to disguise than a jaggedy one. It's nice just to sit in colour. Let's try that. I don't know if this is the best colour. I am kind of limited with this set, but you know, it's fine. The danger of too much colouring, blending or whatever over the top means that the colour starts to bleed beyond the lines that you've trying to keep within, and that's not blending incredibly well. Let me see if I can use the other end of this one and just feather it a bit more. I'll try again with this one. There's a tiny bit of his flipper right there. It's his wings, really, isn't it? That's not so bad. Now, the label of the bottle, I think I'll put some of this, the same as his eyes, on. There we go. There's a tiny bit in the corner missing. Just a touch. Right there. Okay. Not too bad. I'm not too happy with this blending, but it's not awful, but it's not the best. That's better. Okay. Now I'll cut him out. Where's his die? Here it is. Okay. I haven't cut him out before. Well, I haven't used him before, so not absolutely sure. Let me bring over my cutting mat and get some low-tack tape. My lovely sticks to anything low-tack tape, but it is really good for adhering, but doesn't tear. Are we in the right place? I think we might be. Okay. I'll cut him out. Oh, what a treasure. Look at him. Oh, isn't he sweet? That is so sweet. Right, let me put a bit of stenciling on here. Still not sticking down terribly well. Never mind. Right, lost shadow. Here we go. My lost shadow brush. This is such a pale colour that it often doesn't show an inordinate amount. I always seem to be doing this, crossing hands. Let's have a look what that looks like. Yes, I think that will be fine. There we go. Okay, he's going to go onto that, like that. And the sentiment, happiness is a glass of wine. Do you know, I don't like the lost shadow with it against this. This is too brown for that. Let me just get this back on, and I'm going to use Hickory Smoke very, very gingerly, because I think Hickory Smoke is more of a blue grey than this one. Am I in the right place? There. That's in the right place. Where's my Hickory Smoke? There we go. Let's see what this is like. Don't like that either. Let's try again, but just gently. Okay, let's try that. That's better. That's fine. Right, let me just do this. A little block. Here's my glue stick. Stick this, I'll try and get it straight on here, not that it matters. Bit of scrap. And we will use the Versafine Clair again. Happiness is a glass of wine. By doing the sentiment on another piece, it just adds another little bit of interest rather than stamping it directly on the card. Oh, isn't that lovely? Happiness is a glass of wine. I think we'll kind of go like that. Okay, so now we need something to cut out this with. That's not bad. Get it round one end. And I'll tape it. Here's my tape. Okay, just cut part way and then I'll do the other end in a moment. There we go. Now turn it round this way, and I'll put my two sides in the same tram lines. Got to get it about. Take this off a minute because I find it difficult to see the positioning with the tape already on. I think it's about there. Okay, turn it on the other way, and we'll cut the other end. Happiness is a glass of wine. Lovely. I think that's fine. What I will do, because I've turned this over, I started on the other side and I didn't do very well. So I turned it over and had a go at the other side. But what I will do, because it's been die cut, I'm just going to go down these edges to make it look more, you know, rounded that way rather than coming up the other way. Happiness is a glass of wine. Love it. Right. So now that can go simple as anything, but it's lovely. I think it's just lovely. I'll put the finished card on the end of the video as usual. So have a lovely day. Do subscribe if you haven't already, and give me a thumbs up. And I do love reading your comments. I find it's, you know, it's a way of getting to know people, and I can tell just by reading the comment for a lot of people who's written it, because everybody has their own style, and it's just lovely. It's like friends. It's having friends. So thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.